we found that happy medium for us, and that enables me to not be in the business very much. Probably about 10% of my time is actually in our real estate business. The rest of the time is on other things.
What time frame did you move over full time to take over and just do real estate?
That would have been in 2016, beginning of 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did that first 6 months feel like?
Scary.
Yeah.
It was very scary. We bought into a franchise system initially. I don't think I've ever told y'all that. Just because I didn't know how to get things going.
What is that like, buying into a franchise system?
There's some good and some bad. It's delivered as a business in a box. And there's some benefits to that. You just write a check and marketing's done for you. Well, there's good and bad there when they're making money on the marketing that they're selling you. Didn't have a lot of, there was a community, but nothing like what I found is outside of a franchise system. So it got us going, got us moving, but we tried to sell our franchise a few years later and go our own route. We couldn't even sell it. So we ended up having to pay to close it.
And that transition from going in this franchise, when you're having it, like at this point, how many projects are you working on? Are you still working in projects yourself, cracking your head open on cabinets and stepping on nails? Like, what does your day-to-day look like when you're in that, when you take ownership of that franchise and walk that out?
Great question. When I first started the franchise, it was just me. And then I want to say 7-8 months later, I hired somebody to kind of help with back office stuff and take those lead calls because I hate answering the phone. And then a year or so later, hired another buyer, hired another acquisitions person, and just started kind of growing it. I don't remember when we left. I don't remember how big our team was, but I wasn't actively buying anymore. I was working on what I like of the operations side and the kind of troubleshooting side, the figuring out the problems, getting that stuff solved. I'm good going and talking to people, but it's not my passion.
Right. And so you guys closed down that franchise. At that point, my guess is you guys have this fairly dialed in.
Yeah.
I mean, what did dialed in look like for you guys in terms of your deal flow maybe, or just like the comfortability of life? What did that kind of like look and feel like when you took that leap?
Our deal flow, ironically, when we closed our franchise was April 30th of 2000.
2020.
Sorry, 2020. Yes, thank you. We didn't go back in time. So COVID, right when everybody was freaking out and our deal flow with the franchise just dropped. But before that, we were doing 5, 6, 7 deals a month, spending upwards of $20K a month on advertising. And it was stressful at first because we couldn't start marketing our new company until we had that franchise closed. Otherwise, there were going to be conflicts and they could come back and sue me. And I 100% believe they would have. So our deal flow started real slow. We started using mail. We started hitting those things, started getting the phone ringing, tried doing some outbound. It's not my skill set. I'm not a people person, so that wasn't the best for me. I joined a mastermind, and that mastermind was very instrumental in us being able to make that transition because I knew nothing about marketing. At that point in time, and I've changed my tune, but in that point in time, I was kind of anti-mentor coach. Just had an incorrect stereotype in my mind, I guess the best way to put it. And so being around those people and being able to talk to them, how do I do this? How do I do that? That helped a bunch. We scaled up in 2022. We were doing 20 deals-ish a month, sometimes up to almost to 30. And
holy cow. That is so many.
Primarily, and give a breakdown real quick on those 20 or 30. Wholesale, flip, a mixture of both.
A mixture of wholesale, flip, keeping them as rentals,
Nice.
wholesales. In 1 year, I think it was 2022, we added 40 rentals to our portfolio. And it was just because that's what was being presented. That's what we were finding. Okay, let's do it. I had a hard time. I've always had a hard time wholesaling something that I can take a little bit more risk and turn it into a rental or flip it myself. I've always just had a mind block on that. We had a good sized team and we had our own construction crews. and I hated going to work. And Amy too, she hated it. It wasn't us. So we got caught in the let's do bigger, let's do more, let's do bigger, let's do more. And we've since scaled it back. We have a smaller team, 6 or 7 of us. We do 4, 5, 6 deals a month. The last year or so, most of them have been wholesales or flips. A few wholesales here and there if our crews are backed up, but we found that happy medium for us. And that enables me to not be in the business very much. Probably about 10% of my time is actually in our real estate business. The rest of the time is on other things.